And the retatrutide, I would say, is 100% natural. This product is actually insane because just by taking this pill, it mimics exercise. Good morning, YouTube! Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be going over the peptide and SARM tier list for the best fat burners that you can possibly take, where I rank them, why, and in my personal opinion, if you can still claim natural after taking these, which for half of them, in my opinion, you definitely can.
I can't think of anybody that's stayed consistent as long as I have.
Now you have to remember, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a healthcare practitioner, I'm just a juice head that has kind of tried everything over the last 10 years. There's a lot of brand new things that have come out over the last few months and years, such as retatrutide, NAD+, Teslamorn, and tons of things that have been around forever, and I just want to share my experience on it. So we're kicking off the day with 1 piece of toast, 5 whole eggs, and we have so much to unwind in this video, so make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and make good choices. Well, yeah, 50-50.
50-50. 50-50, what?
I believe I'm self-made, yeah. Let's go.
Congratulations, Mark Plummer.
And before we get this day started, the time is finally here. The highest quality, no pump, no filter, just Royds hoodies are finally live September 17th, which is tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. You guys are always pissed because I only drop a limited amount and they always sell out within the first 4 hours. We have 100 hoodies total, only in black and white this time, 11:30 tomorrow morning. Same price, double the quality. You are not gonna wanna miss this. So with that said, guys, let's start today. All right, guys, so we are making our pre-workout meal right now, but we are gonna be listing these in class A, B, C, and D. A being, in my opinion, the best of the best, and D being not so good. Now, some of these peptides have a lot of other benefits other than just fat loss, but today we're gonna be going over just the fat loss and get it absolutely fucking shredded, brah.
Shredded, brah. You'll never be like this, brah. Cause I'm a fucking sick cunt, mate.
Now to start this off, I wanna retract to the first 2 things that we take every single morning before breakfast and before our morning cardio. Fast forward to the next morning because I forgot to film it the day of. We have one product that you definitely know was gonna be on this list, and you have another product that we just added in. So let's start with the standard. You have retatrutide. There is so many videos on this because so many people on the planet are taking this right now. And this might shock you, but I'm gonna be listing this in my B tier, and I'm gonna tell you why after I break this down. Now, retatrutide basically helps burn fat in 3 main points. It activates GLP-1, GIP, and glucagon. Now, I know that 90% of the world has no idea what that meant because I didn't either, but in super easy terms, it means it increases insulin sensitivity so that you use food more efficiently. It slows gastric emptying, which is another fancy way to put that it keeps you more full for longer, because the true only way to burn fat is to eat less calories than you expend in the day. If you're never in a calorie deficit, you're never gonna lose fat. That's just the way the human body works as of right now in 2025. And it slightly helps shift your body to use fat as an energy source instead of muscles and carbs. You guys know that you're usually gonna burn all your carbs first, and then after you burn all your carbs, which is the glycogen, your body either takes muscle or fat for an energy source. This does help slightly use fat as an energy source more efficiently so that you can train better and maintain a lot more muscle. Now, the reason it is in my B tier is because Ozempic about 5 years ago took the world by storm. Everyone started taking it. Everyone thought it was this miracle drug. It turned out that it lowered your bone density. Now they're in a $2 billion lawsuit. I don't think retatrutide is going to be any differently. The world is yin and yang. The ball goes up, the ball must come down. So if these are all the benefits of retatrutide with not many downsides as of right now, it's purely because we just don't know about them yet. So everyone taking retatrutide, I truly believe, will experience some side effects later in life. That is why I can't list it in my A tier, because there is going to be risks associated with this. We just don't know what yet. And retatrutide, I would say, is 100% natural, because if anyone were going to ask me if my dad was not natty, I would say no, my dad's natty, and he is on retatrutide. Now, the second product we added in is teslamorin. After taking it for about a week now, I have noticed nothing. And that is because this needs to be taken over a long period of time, and it is very expensive. Teslamorin, from my understanding, is just a super growth hormone, because what teslamorin does is it basically just stimulates the pituitary gland to create more growth hormone. That is why taking teslamorin in the morning fasted, like I am doing right now before cardio when your blood sugar is the lowest, is the best time to take it. So would be growth hormone. Because we added teslamorin, we kind of shifted our growth hormone to later, and I'll explain that when we get there. Teslamorin has been shown to reduce visceral fat, especially around the abdomen. Now, you can't really spot reduce. If you are taking teslamorin, you should notice a little bit less fat or more fat coming off your midsection, especially if you are overweight. But that also could just be contributing to the higher growth hormone levels, because if you do have higher growth hormone levels from taking growth hormone, I've always noticed my core being a lot tighter. And even when I do cheat or get a little bit heavier, I don't hold as much fat on my core as when I did before taking that type of thing. And obviously, what goes with growth hormone is it just helps preserve lean muscle mass. The more muscle mass that you have on your body, the higher your base metabolic rate is going to be, which means the more calories you're going to burn. So if you get lean, keep or even put on a little bit of muscle during your cut, it's going to be a lot easier for you to keep repeating that cycle. And every off season or every off period, you should never get as fat as before, because you have that extra muscle tissue. Simply because of the price, and that there's no specific fat burning properties to this teslamorin other than the visceral fat on the stomach, which I think that you could get the same out of growth hormone at about 2 to 4 IUs a day. I am going to rank that in my C tier. I really don't think there's much of a place for it, especially because of the price just being so outlandish. I would skip out on it, but I wanted to give it a try because I want to give you my honest opinion. Now, teslamorin, I would say, is not natural. Bringing your growth hormone levels up that high, yes, it might be one of those borderline things, but I think if you take growth hormone or you take teslamorin, you no longer have that natty carb. Just cooked up our pre-workout. We're kind of improvising today because I haven't done groceries. We're doing 2 scoops of Grillamine protein, and we have a bagel with cream cheese. We also have our 3 products that we are about to break down that we always take pre-workout. Now, the first one that you probably haven't heard of because it's not that popular, but it is coming to the US Next Level Sups website that should be launching next week with a brand new selection of products. Now, Helios can't really be marketed as a peptide or a SARM. Now, in Helios, there is 4 main ingredients. 2 of the ingredients are phenomenal for fat loss. 2 of the ingredients are just to supplement and help with the fat loss process. Now, in every dosage of Helios, there's 50 milligrams of caffeine. Obviously, caffeine will just help you work out harder. It's slightly an appetite suppressant and will help you go that much harder in the gym. There is a little bit of nicotine, which is obviously only going to suppress appetite. Now, the 2 main fat-burning ingredients are yohimbine and albuterol. I think everyone knows what yohimbine is at this point. It's basically just a thermogenic fat burner. The main thing that a lot of you haven't heard of is probably albuterol. And that is because albuterol is clinically used in asthma patients. But when you don't have asthma, it actually works as an extreme thermogenic agent. Not only does albuterol help open up all the airways in all the body, allowing more oxygen, more blood flow, and overall better training performance and abilities, it helps unlock brown stored fat to help you use it as energy. And over the entire period that this is active in your body, it just helps you burn more calories while at rest. So Helios, I'm definitely gonna rank in between C and B. I don't think it is a necessity, but if you're trying to get as lean as possible and you're struggling with gym performance because your calories are so low and you're so hungry, it's definitely a product that you would want to try, and I would consider this completely natural. Talking about just burning more calories while you are at rest, you guys know that I'm a huge fan of GW, or Cardarine. There isn't too much to say about this. I'm gonna rank Cardarine in the A tier simply because the price point is absolutely phenomenal. It increases your base metabolic rate and it is stimulant free. There has been studies that show that Cardarine possibly causes cancer, but guys, I'm pretty sure this bagel has studies that it causes just as much cancer as this Cardarine. Everything on the planet now, including the fucking sun, causes cancer. Holy fuck. It's something that just life brings. It's unfortunate and it sucks, but the risk to reward ratio from GW, in my opinion, in the SARM game is unmatched. This has not only helped me in my bodybuilding preps, but this also helps with the endurance in the gym so that when I was competing in competitive powerlifting, I did notice that I could do the sets and the reps way easier without getting gassed, especially during those volume phases. But that's how I'm ranking my personal pre-workout supplements. And we have 1 stop before the gym, and then we are gonna be building a juicy back today. I'm gonna give you an insane workout to try to really build that big Christmas tree back. So you don't wanna miss it. Let's get caffeinated and peptide up. And I'll see you soon. All right, guys, so it is official. This is the condo that I bought 2.5 years ago. You guys know that there was nothing but problems with this, to the fact that I'm currently not even allowed to speak about it because the lawsuit is still ongoing. But I can say, sorry, I can't even say that, but it is coming to a close very, very soon, and I could not be more excited. Now, you may be wondering, Mark, it's been long-term rented. Why are you here? Is because, guys, it is because I never wanted to be a landlord in Ontario or Canada. Guys, you do not understand the Canadian laws here. You do not have to pay your rent, and there is nothing that you as a landlord can do about it. If your tenants decide to stop paying rent, it would take over 3 years to get them out. And with how many immigrants are now coming into Canada, there are absolutely just horror stories after horror stories. And I know that you guys come on here and be like, Mark, you're racist. You're so fucking racist. No, guys, I just understand, and I'm very realistic with pattern recognition. Now, when I rented this out, I took a chance. I rented it out to a family of immigrants that just came into Canada. Their subsidized housing just finished. Now, guys, as Canadian taxpayers, we need to pay for every immigrant that comes. We need to pay for their school, their dentistry, their housing. Every single immigrant gets $2,000 each for the first year that they come to Canada just for housing. That comes out of every Canadian's pocket that we are not already sending to Palestine and every other country except our own. But that's obviously a debate for the next day, because I'm not gonna bore the US or anyone else watching this with how Canada is. But one morning, I wake up to a text from this family that says, "Hi, Mark, I'm so sorry to do this, but we are going to be moving out of the condo in 2 days. 2 days. You're on your own. Good luck." And with that said, they left. And when I came in here, guys, it was absolutely crazy. There was rotten eggs, onions, and potatoes in about 7 of the cupboards. There was fruit flies flying around everywhere. Garbage in every single dresser drawer with gook. The entire backyard was not touched. There was weeds and thistles taller than the fence. Everything was basically destroyed. Over the last 5 days, we have renovated this back to a beautiful condo, the way that I originally had it. As tomorrow, pictures are getting taken and I am officially listing it for sale. I want to close this chapter of my life for several reasons, but the biggest reason is that the lawsuit is coming to an end, and the second biggest reason is I want zero ties to Canada. We leave Canada in February, and for a very long future, I do not see myself ever coming back to Canada. I don't want this property hanging over my head. I do not want to be a landlord here. My businesses are doing phenomenal. My sponsorships, my coaching, Acne Tech skincare, the hoodies. At this point in my life, with how things are just going, I don't want this risk anymore. And unfortunately, owning a home in Canada now is just a liability. It is no longer an asset. So I'm only here to finish making the beds and kind of set up everything for the professional picture takers that are coming tomorrow. Buying this property absolutely destroyed me, and we are going to make a little bit of money selling this property because over the 2.5 years, it obviously did increase a little bit in value. So I can't complain about the situation too much. And as the lawsuit done, I can just close this chapter of my life and really focus on the growth of all the companies and my amazing future with my beautiful girlfriend anywhere but Canada. So yeah, I'm gonna finish this up. I'll see you in the gym.
And welcome to the gym, ladies and gentlemen. We have not done a voiceover in so long. So welcome to the reverse Christmas tree, aka the Dorito style back workout. Now, I like to start from the widest part of your back and work your way in right now. I've been absolutely feeling this the most. Is it because I've just completely changed my workout style to more fast-paced? Maybe. But I like building a Christmas tree the same way you would build a Christmas tree. You start wide and you work your way up. So lat pull downs is definitely the best for your back width. As you can see here, I'm going for it. We do 5 sets, about 3 to 4 working sets. The form at the beginning is obviously a lot better than the form at the end because as you see here, I don't care about form. Anyone that is like, oh, you have to keep your back upright and lift with perfect form looks like shit. They always have, they always will. The pros, the best of the best back in the day, would do their good form lift, and on that top set they would do progressive overload with more weight that they could handle to build the extra muscle tissue. Like I said in the last video, we're keeping rest times around 45 seconds because we are in the last 2 weeks of our fat loss stage. So we started with a lat pull down, then we went right into a 1-arm dumbbell row. But as you can see, we're kind of twisting our elbow out and keeping our hands more in a position of a double overhand barbell row. You know that I had a huge herniated discs, which destroyed my powerlifting career. It still kind of hurts to do double overhand, so I use one hand to stabilize on the dumbbell rack while the other hand pulls up, still working the top of the lats. Right below the lats, you have kind of these rhomboids or the center of your back where the detail of your most muscular comes out. That is what I'm doing here, is just the underhand reverse grip lat pull down. You can do single arm or double arm. I was simply just too lazy to change the handle because it was already set up. And I like to get a stretch at the top here, but you don't need to go all the way up. In my opinion, it just puts your biceps in way too much of a vulnerable position. But as you can see, I still went pretty damn heavy here considering how far the workout's in. This is what I'm currently looking like. I just did my last shot of testosterone today, so now I'm going to spend the next 2 days, but you guys know I started the HCG. I'm still on all the peptides that we talked about today, and I am right now only on 250 milligrams of testosterone. That's it. So if you guys say that these peptides are not working, I'm arguably looking better than I've ever looked in my life on the least amount that I've ever taken. So we went into underhand barbell rows there, but we just did it on a cable. And we really want to emphasize the stretch on your back here. You can see I really lean forward, and I also hold the other handle while I'm going to make sure that the other side of my back is getting a stretch while the other side is getting pulled. Now that's just a killer shot right there. Now we went into a regular row, machine, middle row. This, is just going to work on the center density and thickness of your back. This is obviously a main row workout because our second back day, we do mostly pull downs. But on these type of workouts, on my main row back day, I do all rows and then kind of one pull down. And then on the other back day, I'll do one pull down or one row and then all the other pull downs. Now, the end of the Christmas tree is that little star at the top or the smallest part. I wanted to do hyperextensions, but it was taken. So we actually just did 5 sets of 8 on these deadlifts. I filmed 2 of the sets. I didn't go up in weight. You guys know, you've seen me deadlift 775 pounds, and I'm struggling here. My back was absolutely destroyed. But you see, we did the outer lats. Then we did the outer back. Then we did kind of the middle back. Then we did the rhomboids. Then we did the underhand grip to kind of work the lower lats. And now we're doing deadlifts so we can work that Christmas tree right at the bottom. That's what I mean by starting wide and working your way in. And then we did our second cardio session, which was just a 25-minute severe incline walk, which I was going to do 45 minutes, but I kind of hurt my hamstring on those deadlifts. So I kind of just did this and played on my phone. Now I want to show you guys exactly what we're looking like. So after this, let's check out some hoodies. Look at that damn hoodie, guys.
All right, guys, just got home from the gym. Gonna have my post-workout meal, which is gonna be some chicken and some pasta. I have to organize all these hoodies. These are all 100 hoodies, basically even distributed between large and double XL, and then we have a few mediums. I think there's 15 mediums and 15 triple XLs for those big boys. Again, best quality to date tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, and these are our highest quality. We added the extra cuffs on the wrist because I know a lot of us are big and I'm short. So this is a 3XL that I'm wearing. It's obviously massive, as you saw from the gym. I could fit into a 2XL, or if I wanted it really fitted an XL, but I like wearing oversized stuff, but the sleeves are like 4 times the length. We made sure that these cuffs were there, so if you want to wear oversized, it won't fall off, as well as all the stitching isn't crisscross. It all goes down and it's twice as soft because the inside is all cotton and fleece. All right, so I just want to wrap up the last 2 things that I take for fat loss right now. Now, this one was not even gonna be on the list, but I just wanna touch on it briefly. Everyone knows what it is, and it is clenbuterol. Clenbuterol is gonna be ranked in my B tier because arguably it's one of the most effective fat burners that you can do. In terms of burning more calories, thermogenic effects, it kind of surpasses all the other, because a lot of the other things, like I said, aren't like directly targeting fat loss. They're just making your body work way more efficiently, which aids in the whole fat loss process. This just literally burns fat, helps using fat for energy, burns more calories when I'm just sitting here or through the rest of the day or however long this is in my system. But the reason I can't put it in the A tier is because it's a crazy stimulant, guys. You can't run this for very long. Clen needs to be the last couple weeks, I would say tops 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks for your end shredding point before you just need to stop taking it. You cannot prolong the clen or your heart will literally explode. Not literally, but you know what I mean. And with the clen, guys, I would still say you are natty. In my opinion, clen is not giving you any crazy athletic performance or ability over the next guy. And if you wanted to just starve yourself and do 7 hours of cardio a day, you could achieve the exact same results as clen. This product is actually insane because just by taking this pill, it mimics exercise. So like if I'm just sitting here and I take this pill, it thinks that I'm training, therefore I'm just burning more fat, doing absolutely nothing, and it's not a stimulant like clen. However, I can't put it on this list because I have not taken it long enough or tried it long enough to make any real conclusions because it is our newest product on Next Level Subs. And guys, I will not put my name behind something I don't believe. Next Level Subs does not go live until next week, and that SLUP 332 will not be on for at least 2 or 3 weeks until we make sure that the quality and the effectiveness is 100%. Not gonna put my name behind something that isn't 100% because not only does it just tank this channel, but it also tanks my reputation and my integrity. And the only reason we are where we are on YouTube is because we've just had this no bullshit, say whatever you want approach, and people seem to like it. And like I said, fitness is different for everyone. It's gonna affect everyone differently. That's why some people take 500 milligrams of testosterone and look like Nick Walker, and some people take 500 milligrams of test and look like they've never lifted a day in their life. The logic behind ranking these products, if you are still natty after you take them, is could you get relatively the same results without it, but just on a longer time frame? So if you could get the same results, but it would take you 4 months instead of 2 months, I wouldn't necessarily consider that still natty. You're kind of just speeding up the process. Where something like testosterone, if you've never taken testosterone, and I have taken testosterone, there is no chance you will ever get as strong or big as me. Therefore, you are not natural. Now, the final product is NAD+. Now, NAD+ is a super peptide that kind of took over the world with every celebrity. NAD+, out of all the other peptides we went over, is probably the most efficient of giving your cells energy, which helps you burn fat more efficiently. It also reduces the inflammation in cells, and you guys know inflammation, as with stress, basically deters all muscle gain, all fat loss, all strength. So the less stressed and inflamed your entire body is, the more you're gonna put on muscle and lose fat. And in my opinion, NAD+ is probably the top of the peptide list that does that. NAD+ also switches your AMPAC system, basically just switching it to say, hey, we're gonna start burning fat as fuel more efficiently. Again, very similar to the retatrutide. I think the retatrutide does it more efficiently, but in the terms of overall healthy fat loss, NAD+ probably will take the cake on that. In my opinion, NAD+ has been the most effective at helping food be used as energy to that phosphorus part. In my retatrutide video, I went over that a lot of people blast retatrutide, stop eating, and then start losing weight. Obviously, but then their gym performance declines, their muscle mass declines. There's a lot of different things that have to be perfect with retatrutide, and I think a lot of people are taking it incorrectly. NAD+ is the opposite because you will actually become more hungry because your metabolic rate will be higher, but the food you do eat will be helped to be used more efficiently in the gym and not store as fat. When you kind of spike insulin, your body's going to take all those nutrients and it's going to shovel it to the muscles to use as energy. Whatever doesn't get used as energy will store as fat. Now, all of the peptides I kind of named today help use that fat for energy, but NAD Plus really makes sure that that fat doesn't sit there in the first place, that almost or as much as the food you ate can be used towards that energy source, if that kind of makes sense. That's how I explained it when I managed Popeye supplements for 6 years. They had us do training on this mitochondria, ATP, like holistic nutrition side. So let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if you agree with your list. And if you do take NAD Plus, you're not natty, unfortunately. It goes with the teslamorin, and obviously I do 3 IUs of growth hormone right before bed. We used to do it in the morning and before bed, but because of the teslamorin, now we do the growth hormone before bed. Obviously, those 3 things, you can't claim natty anymore because there's no way in hell that you'd ever get to that level being a natty. That's just the truth. So let me know if you agree with me or disagree with me in the comments below. I know this video was kind of scattered everywhere. I'm just getting over a cold. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next Tuesday at 5:30 p.m.